Hi, everybody. Like Subram mentioned, keep those questions coming in and we will try to get them answered as soon as possible. So there is a great question on simplifying and modernizing the networking internal architecture. So I think the moderator has asked for more information. So Ayan, if you can just provide some more info, then hopefully one of us can get back to you shortly. And Christian is really excited about his NAT gateway resources, the virtual network and NAT. So uh, I think everybody who's a part of the panel can second that statement. We are all very excited about it. I see questions on App Gateway. On VNets. I also see some new questions on virtual WAN, on VPN. So answers coming up shortly. I hope you guys can hear us. I hope that you're able to publish questions. So Benjamin, I think Altaf, the moderator, has answered questions related to VNet peering pricing and the reasoning behind it. So take a look and you can ask follow-up questions as well. All right. So while your questions get the answers from the expert, I'll just go ahead and talk a little bit about all of us who are here. This is the Ask the Expert session on Azure Networking. And with me, I have Christian, Subra, Altaf, Uma, Suraj, and myself. All of us belong to the Azure Networking product team. And if you have any questions related to virtual networks, application gateways, any service in Azure Networking or otherwise, feel free to drop in your questions and one of us will get back to you. And if you cannot hear us, do put that in as well. I'll see how I can help you guys overcome that. So there was a question on supporting VNet peering for Bastion, and like Altaf responded, it's in the pipeline. You can expect to see announcements really soon, hopefully in the latter part of the year. And there was another question on Bastion's integration with AAD or referencing key walls in the roadmap, David. And a good question on will VNet be updated to work with app services? Like Christian mentioned, it's a really popular question, and stay tuned. More stuff coming up. So private links availability for PaaS services, that is something that is in the works, and hopefully around Ignite, you should be able to hear more about it, as answered by Subra. And a question on integrating App Gateway with the WAF v2 SKU in ASC, Azure Security Center. So like Suraj mentioned, you cannot do that just yet, but like most of the things in the question, it's in the pipeline, people are working on it, and it should be out for you guys really soon. All right, guys, halfway. Please keep those questions coming in. So another great question on more insights, metrics, and logs from Azure Front Door, and more visibility coming in that direction from the Front Door team. Also, a lot of work has been going on in the back end on working with teams across Azure Networking in providing more metrics for you guys to use out of box? So keep those questions coming in, guys. Um, I can see some of them have been answered, and the team is working on answering the rest of them. So I can see follow-up questions coming in as well from Ian about secure access to storage and SQL from within VNet. I see follow-up comments from Benjamin as well about intra data center VNet peering costs. So team is taking a look at that as well, guys. I see that Bastion is really popular. There are like so many questions on that. And so is Christian's favorite, Nat. Great questions on application gateway, front door, traffic manager, the whole connectivity story for Azure networking. So Menno had this great point about good architecture examples on how to implement all these new technologies and solutions that we're coming up with. And like Christian responded, complicated solutions, complicated use cases, but as a product team, we are sure that examples are going to help you, and we take that back as feedback, and we'll see how we can make you know, examples and architecture best practices available to you. Keep those questions coming in, people. All right, I can see a lot of the panelists actually on questions and tackling them. So, guys, just hold on to your questions and we'll have someone get to them really soon. So, Paul Altaf, the moderator, answered your question related to your app service that are deployed inside VNet as an injected service. Hope that answers your question. If not, to reply and you can send in your follow-up question as well. So good question on egress cost, given that egress cost for VNet peering. Basically, VNet peering is charged based on regions and not zones, as clarified by Altaf. So just for the panelists, Roberto has a question on making point-to-site VPN not split tunnel. If one of you can get to that, that'll be great. Mark, I hope your question on private link got answered. Just to recap Subra's answer, using private link, you can connect privately to a web app using an Azure private endpoint. Solution is in preview. Read up more about it and let us know your thoughts. So there's a question from David that says, are there any plans to make network troubleshooting simpler that is not requiring a VM in a VNet for resulting routes, NSG rules, etc.? So we are trying to surface as much as possible the issues that we see in a customer network using connection monitor and connection troubleshoot. But like they say, network troubleshooting is a really large topic. Right now, active monitoring requires that you have to install the VM with an extension on it, but we are sort of, thinking of ways to overcome that. So good feedback, but uh, we're working on a solution for that. All right, I see quite a lot of questions. Keep them coming in, guys. The panelists are here to make sure that all your queries get resolved. So great question on how you can ensure that your web servers connecting via Azure VPN can be safe. And Suraj recommends that you use Azure WAF. A WAF policy can be applied on the app gateway or AFD CDN sites. Um, Specific to VPN, you are probably using a VNet and a regional service. So try application gateway WAF. Panelists, there's a question from Dylan on when more partners will come to Azure Virtual WAN. So if we have any ideas around that. There's another question from Dallin on if there are any plans to increase the number of public IPs that can be assigned to an Azure firewall. So if we can get some eyeballs on that, would be great. There was a question on Cloudflare Gateway and whether we have a similar solution in Azure. Like Subra mentioned, nothing concrete over there, but great idea, and we'll go back and put our thinking hats on for that. So Subra has also brought up, a great point on the various load balancing options that we have in Azure. One of which is the various load balancing options that are available in Traffic Manager per se, like weighted distribution, geo distribution, etc. Not just the use case that was posed in the question. So I suggest that you guys take a look at that and play around with that. So there was a great question on how do you protect your public IPs in Azure. So Altaf has given a really interesting answer there, where he says that there's basic DDoS protection, um, and for enhanced protection and metrics and more intelligent DDoS protection, you can upgrade to standard DDoS protection also. And there are NSGs, etc. And we have interesting solutions around NSGs. There are NSG flow logs, there's traffic analytics, and you can all benefit from these solutions. And Mark, it'll be great if there's something specific that you can tell us that you're looking for from front or based on what you are looking at in Cloudflare. NSG tags, NSG service tags for specific O365 services in the backlog, and not just the ability to put those tags, but tag IP space in Azure as well. And Paul, thank you for elaborating your exact ask about traffic and the health check URLs. And like Subra said, we'll have to analyze that, and there are some follow-up questions. If you can respond to them, then it'll really help us understand that space better. Great follow-up from David on the fact that PaaS services do not necessarily have VMs, which can be used for active monitoring. And this is a very popular ask, David, and we definitely have this in our roadmap on how to ensure that we can provide monitoring for PaaS services. Keep those questions coming in, guys. The experts are here to answer your questions on the products, the roadmap, any suggestions or use cases you guys want to bring up. So Danny, you have a question on connecting networking health to an external SIEM like Splunk. So you will see a lot of Azure Monitor data can be exposed and made available in Splunk data related to metrics, diagnostic logs, and activity logs. But as I understand, the resource health check, if that's what you're referring to specifically, that might not be directly available. I will take this as a feedback and pass it on to the monitor team. So keep those questions coming in, guys. Our team is working on providing answers for them. I can see some of the panelists actively working on your questions. So please bear with us if we are a little delayed in answering them. So I can see follow-up responses from Paul and Mark. Thank you guys for engaging with us. All your comments are really helpful in ensuring that panelists understand your exact use cases and the context from where you are coming from. And such interaction really helps us shape our products better. So please keep those questions and comments and feedback coming in. I can see Mark, for instance, is not just posting questions on his behalf, but also on his friend's behalf, which is great. So thank you for the collaboration, Mark, and please keep those questions coming in. So we are almost we are almost 75% done with the session. So guys, if you have any questions for the team from Microsoft here, please this is the time to post your questions so that all of us can really get on them and make sure that you get the answers that you're looking for. Just to remind folks on the session, you can put your questions in the Q&A window. The team will take a look at it and they will reply with the answers. Hope you guys can hear me and hope you guys can see the answers that we are posting for the questions that everybody is asking. I also want to call out the user voice and feedback channels where you can give feedback and make feature requests for all your favorite Azure networking products. The links are really simple. It's user voice and feedback, Azure feedback and user voice links. So please, anything that you are not able to cover as a part of this session, go right ahead and post the feedback and post those questions on the user voice and feedback forums. So there was a good question from Dylan on bringing conditional forwarders to private DNS, Azure Private DNS, to ensure connectivity to on-prem resources from Azure, like Subra mentioned. It's in the plans. So Mikhail, good question on connecting app service to VNet, and Suraj has a possible solution for you, app service VNet integration. Take a look at it. Let us know if this is what you were looking for. So there was an interesting question on securing on-prem resources which are receiving traffic from Azure resources, and how the on-prem resources are basically protected by whitelisting the IPs. And the question was, how do you advise, someone should prevent malicious actors attack on on-prem resources from their own Azure resources? And Suraj has an interesting answer there. Most of the firewalling, traffic filtering happens inbound, and you might require something that's outbound as well, and that also resolves your public IP changing often. Have you thought about evaluating Azure Firewall with outbound FQD and rule filtering? So take a look at that and let us know if that answers your question. Any plans to be able to bring your own PIPs to Azure? Like Uma mentioned, it's in our backlog, and we hope to get it out for you all to use really soon. So guys, barely 5 to 10 minutes remain for this session to end. So if you have any questions for the panelists, this is the time to put them in the Q&A section, and the panelists will get to them ASAP and make sure that you get answers to all your queries. So we're trying to go through all the questions and see which ones are not answered yet. And hopefully one of us will get to your question really soon. So just bear with us for some time. So there was a good question from Dylan on any update when more partners will come into Azure Virtual WAN. Dylan, while I know that the team is working on it, I don't really have the details on which partner and when they will land. If you can post this question in the user voice, it will be great. And the right person from the team can get back to you on that. Last few minutes, guys. A gentle reminder, post your questions in Q&A. Panelists are actively working to make sure that all your queries get resolved. So Benjamin, I can see that Altaf has responded to your follow-up question as well. It would be great if you can give some feedback on Can you just give some more information on your architecture details so that we can suggest a design better? So there's a question. Is there a plan to add feature for Azure Bastion to work with Azure private appliances, example FortiGate? So the Bastion will not require a public IP directly assigned, but can be placed behind a firewall application. So we hear you, and one of the guys will get back to you shortly on that. So, great question from Dylan on whether you can use Azure Virtual WAN as you can use a transit gateway in AWS to allow you to have a fully meshed network in Azure. Like Altaf mentioned, that some transit scenarios can be accomplished using virtual WAN, and you will have to rely on the documentation to know the details. And the full meshed network connectivity, just like AWS transit gateways in the backlog. So Christian has posted the link for user voice. You can use that and post any questions that you have after the session gets done. So there's a good question on SQL managed instance without using VNet gateway like Bastion. Altaf, our moderator, has a follow-up question. So if one of you can answer that, then we can provide more information. So current state of IPv6 support, like Christian mentioned, IPv6 is generally available. Go through a documentation to know more, but not all PaaS services are IPv6 enabled yet. Work in progress, and you can hear more about it later. And in the questions, you can see a link to our feedback page as well. So please use the user voice and feedback pages. And for posting your asks, and you can vote on asks, and this will help us prioritize those questions better. So great question on moving public IPs between regions. And like Christian mentioned, you can create a global endpoint with AFD or Azure Traffic Manager, which is our DNS-based global software load balancer. However, IP addresses themselves are bound to a region as they are part of a larger block assigned and routed to a specific region. So it's not possible to move a given IP address from one region to another. But we do have plans to offer more options for global endpoints across regions. Last few minutes, guys. Keep those questions um, coming in. If there are any follow-ups, this is the time to ask them. So some questions have been asked privately as well, and I think all our questions have received answers. So if that is that, I want to thank all of you guys for joining us for the Ask the Expert session on Azure Networking. I hope that we were able to answer all your questions and that you got what you were looking for from this session. I will close the conversation now, thanking you for your time. I am also going to post a link to our Azure Networking feedback link. You can go and you can post new feature asks. You can vote on the features you like. You can interact and engage with the product team who's constantly looking to understand your use cases better so that we can implement it in the product in the best possible way. Thank you for joining us today.